worked with over 1,800 Airbnb hosts in the last 6 years. I've helped turn around properties that were losing thousands. I've helped hundreds of hosts get to 6 figures in profit. In this video, I'm going to share the 5 mistakes that are holding you back from earning as much as you should be on Airbnb. I'm also going to show you exactly how to fix them so you can start earning more by the end of the video. Mistake number 1, getting your listing up as soon as possible. It sounds like a good idea. Long term, it's killing your revenue. I see a lot of hosts rush to get their listing up as quickly as possible and then say that they'll optimize it later on. When you do this, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose thousands of dollars. Here's why. When you first launch on Airbnb, you get a surge of initial traffic, and how well you convert that traffic into bookings makes up about 80% of Airbnb SEO. If your listing converts really well, you'll perform well in search long term. If not, you'll fall farther and farther down the search results until eventually your listing will be pretty much undiscoverable. So the first thing you've got to do to really optimize your Airbnb SEO is have a super strong launch. That's why in B&B Tribe, we've got a whole section that's solely dedicated just to nailing your launch. You've got to nail the photos, the listing description, the pricing, everything. Doing this the right way can literally mean tens of thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. If you want my full detailed step-by-step guide, then check out B&B Tribe at the link in the description. If you want the 80-20 though, here it is. Get amazing professional photos, fill out every section of your listing, discount your pricing 10 to 20% initially, and don't skimp on amenities. And that actually leads really well into the second big mistake that's likely costing you money: not giving guests a reason to book your place. You see, a few years ago, people were literally trapped inside of their homes with nothing to do. Remember how back then you would have done anything to just leave your house? This meant that to succeed on Airbnb, you basically just needed 4 walls and a roof. Seriously, it was nuts. If you threw something up on Airbnb, you were pretty much guaranteed to get bookings. But now the times have changed. Guests have more options than ever before, and they aren't dying to get out of the house like they were a couple years ago. To succeed on Airbnb now, you need to give guests a compelling reason to book your space, something they can't get by booking your competitor's space or by just staying at home. This is why amenities and decor are super important. If your property is the same as all your competitors and you don't have any standout amenities or anything for guests to actually do while they're at your listing, then you're leaving money on the table. Big money. In fact, if you're struggling to get bookings, I can almost guarantee that it's because of this. If not, then it's almost certainly because of the 4th big mistake that I'll share in just a sec. So, how do you fix it? Well, for starters, you need to figure out who your ideal guest is. Is it someone single who's traveling for work? Is it a couple who are looking for a romantic getaway? Or maybe it's a family who are visiting on vacation, or a group of friends planning a weekend getaway. Figuring this out will start to give you clarity on who it is that you're optimizing your listing for. Next, ask yourself questions like, what would make their stay more enjoyable? What would make them really want to book my place? What could I offer that they would need to tell people about? And what would make them want to come back? Make a list of all your answers and then review it. If something is cheap and easy, like adding a Netflix account, just do it. If something could really improve the guest experience, like adding a hot tub, then do it as soon as you can afford to. Making these investments into your listing will generate huge returns. Just think, you've already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy the property. If spending a few $1,000s more will get you 10 or 20% more bookings, it's a no-brainer. And speaking of total no-brainer investments, here's one that every host really should make. Join B&B Tribe. For just $49 a month, you'd be crazy not to. The easy-to-use tools and resources will guarantee you get a huge ROI. So whether you're a new or experienced host, B&B Tribe is for you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wished that you could get instant answers to every one of your hosting questions? Ever wish you were part of a hosting community who you could share tips with, learn from, and who'd be there for you, helping you to succeed? I know I sure did. And that's exactly why I created B&B Tribe. As a host myself for nearly 10 years, I learned way too much through trial and error. I spent way too much time losing money because I didn't know certain strategies, and I stressed way too much, feeling like I was all alone. I created B&B Tribe as a way to solve those problems. So if you want to join the world's best community for Airbnb hosts, investors, and property managers, then look no further. B&B Tribe is home to some of the most amazing, intelligent, and helpful hosts anywhere in the world. If you want to be a part of that, just click the link in the description down below, and we'd love to welcome you to our tribe. Now, there are 3 more huge mistakes that I see hosts make all the time, and I can almost guarantee that these mistakes are costing you money. So make sure you stick around till the very end, because the last mistake is the easiest to avoid once you're aware of it. The next big mistake that I see hosts make is not knowing what to charge. And honestly, I don't blame them. It can be really tough to figure out, but setting prices correctly can mean tens of thousands of extra dollars in your pocket each year. Just look at these 2 hosts. They have nearly identical properties, both in the same market, both doing pretty much everything right. But because this one had better pricing, they made $74,000 more than their competitor last year. So needless to say, pricing is important. Here's the 80-20 on how to do it properly. Number 1, go to AirDNA. Search up the average occupancy rates in your area. Number 2, look up your market's booking lead time. And finally, number 3, track your progress. It takes 5 minutes a week, and it's super simple. If you're overbooked, raise your rates, and if you're underbooked, lower them. Simple as that. A lot of people make this way more complicated than it needs to be. If you want the tool that I use to track this easily, again, it's in B&B Tribe. You'll get access to the pricing tool, plus about 50 other tools that'll make hosting way easier for you. All right, now on to the 4th mistake that I see a lot of hosts make: forgetting what business they're in. And I've seen this one put a few hosts completely out of business. At the end of the day, we're in the hospitality business, and the definition of hospitality is being friendly and welcoming to guests. Now, I don't know if you're a member in any of the hosting Facebook groups out there, but there's not a lot of friendliness going on in those groups. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. Not everyone is cut out to be an Airbnb host. If you're constantly assuming the worst of your guests, making them wrong, arguing with them, and imposing outrageous fees on them, then hosting probably just isn't for you. But if you are a good host and you sometimes find yourself struggling to see the best in people, we all have those days. So remember this: hosting is a marathon, not a sprint. Are there going to be bad guests? Yes. Will you sometimes have to bite your tongue? For sure. Should you sometimes side with the guests just to keep them happy? Yeah. And that stuff can be tough, but it's part of the business. As a host, you've got to learn to choose your battles and always take the high road. If you don't, then like it or not, negative reviews will be your demise. It's important to think long-term and to never step over dollars just to pick up some pennies. And along that same line, the 5th mistake that I see hosts make is the easiest to avoid once you're aware of it. And honestly, working this in your favor gives you a huge unfair advantage. Do yourself a favor and try this. As soon as you finish this video, hit the like button and join B&B Tribe. Log into your hosting dashboard. Once you're in there, go over to the Insights tab and look at all of your recent reviews. Now, read every one of them and make notes on 2 things. First, list out everything that guests say they love. And next, write down every single complaint, big or small. Look at the public reviews and also the private notes. List it all out. Once you've got this, you're sitting on a gold mine. Everything that guests love should be highlighted front and center in your listing. If you've got to update your photos, your headline, your listing description, whatever it is, do it. Just make sure other people know what past guests loved most about your place. Then take every single complaint or criticism and fix them. Fix them all. If it's something that you can't change, like the location, see if you could set better expectations in the listing. Trust me, way too many hosts have trained themselves to just refute anything negative that guests have to say. I promise you, taking this feedback seriously, addressing concerns, and improving your listing will put more money in your pocket than you could ever imagine. I recently went through this process with one of my listings and instantly saw a 10% increase in bookings. Seriously, this stuff works. Now, if you want more helpful tips like these ones, simple training, and an amazing community of hosts, then check out B&B Tribe. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.